So, I, Freddy Frogger, really like Team Fortress 2, which is something that a lot of people probably know at this point. But, most people don't know that I'm also an engineer main, and today, I'm finally talking about him and Team Fortress 2, and I'm very excited. I really like the engineer. He's a class unlike any of the other classes. He's the only class that can build, obviously, and he has one of the most powerful primaries in the game, the stock shotgun, but we're not talking about that today. We're talking about his other wrenches, because the engineer is basically defined by his wrenches and him being able to build. That's his main source of actual strength and power, and how you're going to play as him. There are definitely a lot of clueless players out there who play as engineer. If I'm being honest, when I started out, I had no idea how to build, I had no idea what I was doing, and then I just switched to a scout, I guess. But now, probably like 4 or 3 years later, I finally get it, and I've been a practicing engineer, I've been playing as engineer, and a certain YouTuber, Uncle Dane, has caused me to fall in love with the character even more. I watched all his tutorials, I got all his tips, and I've spent ludicrous amounts of money on this character. Engineer is very special and dear to me. But this is not a video me talking about the engineer, the character. I feel like Lazy Purple and Uncle Dane himself already covered that very well in their own videos of how he's such a great and amazing character. No. Like I mentioned, we're talking about the wrenches, and which one I think is super underrated but super duper great and perfect in any situation. And a lot of people look down upon it and think it's just a boring, stupid wrench. And I do see people use this one, but not often. And I think a lot of people should be using this wrench than the Jag. So, ladies and gentlemen, you already saw the title. Today, we are talking about the Eureka effect, one of my favorite wrenches for the engineer. And today, I'm going to be talking about why it's my primary wrench and why I think it's very useful in any situation. I mean, that isn't true, but I'm just going to talk about it. You know what I mean. So, like the funny Whitebeard man, let's go over the stats. So, if you press the reload key on your keyboard, you can choose to teleport to your spawn or to an exit teleporter. We'll go over this in a second. And it costs negative 50 metal to build a teleporter. So that is very nice. You can build teleporters a lot more faster and a lot more quicker. But the downside being you get 20 less metal from pickups and dispensers, and the construction hit speed is decreased by 50%. And this is the part where a lot of engineers or new players decide to just put this weapon off to the side. The whole point of engineer is to make your sentry and make your builds really fast so you can get back into battle and get all the sick kills and frags. But it doesn't mean you can't still tank the sentry. The only downside is that it has a slower construction speed. You can still tank it against heavies and soldiers and all that kind of stuff. You could also use the good old-fashioned Jag effect rollout, where you can use your Jag to make your sentries really fast, and then equip the Eureka effect to go back into battle. You don't even need to use the Jag to make teleporters. Like I said, it is faster and cheaper to upgrade and build a teleporter. And you don't even need to build an entrance teleporter to teleport to the exit teleporter. You can just make the exit teleporter and you can automatically go to it. It is definitely a faster way to get back into battle, but definitely a lot more risky. You see, there's a chance that someone might be camping your teleporter or the other team is pushing to that point. But all you need to do is just be very fast and be very, very careful. This is the part where people might say, but I'm in the midst of battle. What if I have to use the Jag to build my stuff faster? Well, this is again where the Jag effect rollout comes into play. When you get back to spawn, you can quickly build your sentry and then go back to the Eureka effect and go back into battle. All you gotta do is be very careful. I would suggest using the shotgun or the panic attack with this loadout if you're in close quarters and you're by your sentry most of the time and you're not afraid of dying maybe a bit. Because, I mean, as long as you have other engineers or a pyro or something like that, you'll be fine. Because now you finally have space for actual other damage. Because people would use the Rescue Ranger with the Jag because the Jag is really bad at tanking and keeping it alive at some points. Alright, this all sounds very nice, but my sentry can still die. If my sentry dies, it's all your fault and you're cringe and I'm unsubscribing. Okay, first of all, don't unsubscribe. Please, I really support it. And if you haven't already, people who are watching this, please, like, comment, subscribe. It really helped me out, and I've worked really hard in this video. Well, the thing about that, there's another unlock in the engineer's arsenal, the Wrangler. The Wrangler is a very broken unlock, but also a very useful unlock for the engineer in your pistol slot, aka your secondary slot. It's used for killing people outside of your effective range, or at least your sentry's range, because you can take manual control of your sentry gun to just go wham. And the worst part is that it has more health, and it's more harder to kill the sentry, and it does more damage when wrangled. This thing is fucking broken. Who needs a rescue ranger when you got the Wrangler? What? Now I know I did say a couple minutes ago that, you know, it's better to use a shotgun over the rescue ranger because now you have multiple options to actually tank your sentry gun. But that doesn't mean that the Rescue Ranger is still a bad option to use. The Rescue Ranger is always a great option to use with any sentry gun of any loadouts. It's a very reliable source. And if you don't have time to play your Wrangler or you're in a panic, using the Rescue Ranger is still a very good option. I'm gonna be honest, the downsides of the Eureka effect barely come into play, because you barely notice the decreased the metal pickups from dispensers and actual ammo packs, and the construction speed doesn't even matter most of the time because of the jag effect rollout. It's super useful to teleport from place to place when certain situations get too tough or too crazy for you to handle it as a small Texan man. It's a very nice side grade. I use it more than the jag because it's just so much funner. It's so much funner than just having to build your sentry really fast. It just gets boring very quickly, and I'm glad the Eureka effect exists, so I have something more funner and more interesting to actually use. Even funnily, Uncle Dane Man likes to use this thing. He talked about it in his recent wrench video that the Eureka effect is a wonderful side grade, and I'm gonna be honest, this is what that video was inspired by. So if you haven't already, go check out his wrench video that he posted recently. It's really good. One of my favorite engineering videos he's ever posted, and yeah, he's a big hero to me. But please stick around for the rest of this video. This video was to explain that some engineers don't always have to use the jag, because I noticed that the jag is basically the meta wrench at this point. The Eureka effect is a wonderful side grade. Its features and all of the other things it can do are very fun. It's a very fun side grade. Barely any downsides, because those downsides never come into play, or they're barely noticeable. And it's good for getting out of situations that you can't handle. The Eureka effect is beautiful. It's wonderful. So I advise a lot of engineers to try out the Eureka effect if you haven't already, and just take a break from the jag for a bit. You know, it's always there, and you can always use the jag effect rollout, but try something new. You know, it's good to expand. Life is short, and our lives in TF2 are short because of those fucking spots. It's a great utility, and great for tanking. So, that's all I gotta say. Thank you all for watching my TF2 video. I will post some more stuff like this. For those about to call me and Uncle Dane want to be in the comments, frick you. I know where you live. I'm kidding. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment if you enjoyed this. This video took a long time to make, and I am very excited to post stuff like this. So, I'll see you guys in the next video. Hope you all have a good day night over the world, and goodbye. Also, frick the jag. It's so boring. So, after you've heard everything I said this entire video, do you finally understand the importance and the absolute utility and power of the Eureka effect? I mean, I guess so, you know. Well, good job for you to play. I'm very glad you came around to using this weapon besides the jag. I'm kidding! Frick you! The Eureka effect is a terrible weapon, and the jag will always be superior! Okay, this is getting out of hand. Alright, there we go.